Hi friends, Amanda here. I know it's been a while. There's been a lot of adjustment, a lot of jostling around, a lot of change happening at the collective and also in my life. I'm in a new space. I've moved, as you can hear. It is quite cavernous and not yet filled. It's a blank slate. And I'm really happy to be back with a message from Gemini for us in Gemini season as we move out of spring. Gemini has been knocking on the back of my head with a message that wants to be shared for all of us. And so as I was sitting in meditation, I just kept seeing an eye blinking. And I felt that the message is somewhere in the process of the blink. Like I was being drawn to the fact that when your eye is open, you're taking in a lot of light. When the eye, if you're a sighted person, when the eye closes, we're now in a darker space behind the eyelids, existing in a different experience. And then when the eye reopens, something is different, something has changed, because I kept hearing that phrase, in the blink of an eye, in the blink of an eye. And then some cards came out that I'm going to share with you here from the Mary L. Tarot. So the first two cards out, bearing in mind this message of in the blink of an eye, we have the Fool right into the Death energy. These are incredibly starkly contrasting energies. The Fool is ready to leap into a new beginning, ready to take a leap of faith out into a brand new slate, like card 0. We have no idea where we're going, but we're ready to start a new chapter. And then it's so fascinating to me that openness runs right into the Death energy, which is very much an ending, a closure, something passing out of your life. I mean, this kind of stark shift is eclipse energy. This is the kind of energy that Sagittarius, Gemini, lunar, solar eclipse season that we just moved through. This is the kind of energy that brings. It is change that comes in the blink of an eye. The eye being open, that Fool energy, and then the eye being closed, the Death energy. So there's some sort of major shift or change in perspective, perhaps, or maybe major change in your life that happens in the blink of an eye. Eclipse energy. And it's almost as if this Fool is ready and opening to a brand new beginning. The other two cards that come out are the Five of Swords and the Page of Discs. Here's that brand new beginning, that infant energy. This baby showing us that this is it's almost as if the Fool energy opens this, creates an opening, right? Card 0 creates an opening for this new chapter, new perspective, new creation, new way of existing, to pass through that opening and come into your human experience. In the process of that happening, there is a death. And you hear a lot about this life, death, rebirth archetype, and that experience is so present in this reading. So here we are, wide open and opening to something new, opening to change, opening to transformation, opening and allowing things to pass out of our experience so that we can morph, so that we can shift shape, change form, transform, right? But there's a little bit of pain in this experience for me, because here we are as the Fool, like wide open and ready. Come on, universe, let's go, bring it to me. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this change. I'll take a leap of faith. And then we run right into the energy, the more difficult energies that are necessary for us to actually change and transform, which is death. It's like, okay, if you're ready for a new chapter, then you've also got to be ready for certain things to pass out and certain things to fall away out of your experience. And so for me, the Five of Swords is showing up as this like beautiful Athena energy surrounded by the wisdom of the owls. And it feels protective. You know, we've got these hands here holding on to one another, holding on to that infant. And it very much feels like a doula type experience of like, okay, we will hold each other. We will surround ourselves with wisdom, protection, and love, and carry each other. You know, we are being carried through this change and through this experience of endings and new beginnings that are happening in the blink of an eye. It's also interesting that we have that eye imagery showing up so strongly, and then we have the owls here with the eyes being incredibly prominent. And even this Athena figure, the eyes are just glowing, fierce. So there is, I think, something new to see, perhaps in that space behind the eyes, because now I'm being drawn to the fact that the Fool, you can kind of see the whites of the eyes underneath of this like butterfly mask. Again, butterflies change, transformation, changing form. And then with the death energy, the eyes are blank. They're empty spaces, or they are dark. And that's really, again, bringing me to that darkness behind the eyes, that liminal space behind the eyes where that's the passage where something shifts, so that when the eyes reopen, it's like everything is changed. You know, even if that's just a shift in perspective and you're seeing everything differently suddenly with like the information that you gained in that liminal behind the eyes dream meditation unconscious space, you re-enter your waking life with a changed perspective or a different vision or a different experience, or maybe even like in my circumstances, your surroundings are completely different. Okay, I want to share what I wrote after meditating and then pulling these 4 cards. Okay, in the blink of an eye, this is how Gemini is carrying us out of the spring season. The new beginning is here, but so is death. The tunnel it must pass through to be born out the other side, through the eye of a needle, from light to dark and back again in the blink. I also think it's interesting that this reading is happening with the Saturn-Uranus square, round 2, sort of looming. And I believe the degree, I want to say it's the degree Saturn is on in Aquarius, but I could be wrong. The Sabian symbol for that degree is the train entering the tunnel. And so it's so fascinating that I'm getting this like tunnel imagery of like light to dark and then light again on the other side. So, okay, it's all, let's just keep that percolating. I'm going to go to the Aquarian Tarot now and see if we can get a little bit more to this story. See if we can kind of clarify this full death experience. Let's start there. It's nice to be reading with you again. Missed y'all. Okay. The Fool energy, the death energy. Gemini, talk to us. What's going on? What's going on as we're transitioning out of spring? The Chariot. We're moving. We're moving to a new level of existence. I love how Lindsay Mack talks about this card. She was one of my tarot mentors, and she says, the chariot is the vehicle that takes you to the next level of your life. And I'll just like sing that to the end of time because I love it so much. Here it is. This is the vehicle. This is like, it's almost like, okay, your ride is here. Your ride is here. Are you ready to go? And the full energy is like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's throw these bags in the car. Let's get in. Let's take this leap of faith. Let's go all in. And then it's almost as if it's that moment where you realize, oh wait, if I'm ready to take this trip, I'm ready to go on this new journey, it means that I have to leave something behind. You know, like oh wait, but I have to leave where I was, or I have to leave where I am. I have to say goodbye to certain people, or I have to say goodbye to a certain way of thinking, a certain life that I had lived. Okay, really interesting. We've got the Chariot clarifying this Fool death experience. Anything else we need to know here? I mean, the Fool, Chariot, death, this is the vehicle that is carrying us. It's so interesting because the other day at Bonfire with the collective, Kevin and Kelsey really dug into this energy that we're feeling in the liminal, this, you know, eclipse season, and with the Saturn-Uranus square impending, and we're about to transition into summer season. So there's this sense of being carried, and they likened it, you know, we've been having Persephone underworld conversations over at the collective, which you can learn more about if you go to our website and join our membership, because we've got all of our underworld conversations available to members. Anyway, they likened it to the ferry that is carrying us across the river Styx, carrying us through the underworld, carrying us through this experience of change and transformation. And it's so interesting because that is the tunnel, you know? The train enters the tunnel from the topside world. That's the eye open. And then we have the blink, the moment where the eyes are closed. Here we are in this underworld experience being carried through. Chariot offers us movement. It offers us a vehicle. It takes us from one place to another, and then we resurface, reopen the eye on the other side. And it's almost as if, and by the way, I very much see this as part of the protective energy that is ferrying us, carrying us through, which is also interesting because that's Mercury. Mercury is the god that can pass between worlds, the god of the liminal space. Here we see this as Athena, but this could easily be Mercury carrying us through. And then here, when the eye reopens on the other side, oh my gosh, we have new life. Okay, so great, Chariot. What else can we get for the Fool and for death energy? Help us understand how Gemini is interesting. Gemini, the ruler of Gemini is Mercury. And I was just about to say how Gemini is carrying us out of spring. How Gemini, Mercury, which is currently retrograde, is carrying us out of spring. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all, I'm grunting. Okay, we have the World. This is it. This is it, okay? We're ready to go. The ride is here. Because this chapter has to complete. Something is coming full circle and is ready to be completely moved out of our experience. The World, the ending. This is the final card in the major arcana. Something is truly coming full circle. A cycle is ending. This is the closing of the book. You can't have that new beginning without a profound ending. Okay, I think that's clear. I think that feels clarified to me. This is the vehicle that's taking, oh God, this is gorgeous too when you think about the way Lindsay taught the Chariot, Lindsay Mack, because here we are at the very end of the cycle of the major arcana cards. This is the final card, card 21. And what would we need to start back over again with the Fool's Journey at card 0? We would need the ferry, the vehicle, to take us to the next level of our journey. Okay, so this is also really speaking of like cycles of rebirth, you know? It's almost like a reincarnation card in the context of this reading. Yes, there is a death, a cycle is ending, but it's so that a new cycle can begin. So let's look at this new cycle and the process of being carried through the tunnel to the other side. Let's just look at the Five of Swords. What is this energy of being carried through? Protection, wisdom, a new way of seeing. What happens in that liminal space as we are being carried through the space behind the eyelids? Help us understand. Interesting. Knight of Pentacles. A card of movement, but it's slow. It's slow, steady, practical. It's almost like we're getting, it's interesting that it's earth energy because it feels like it's the kind of pace and movement that brings us down to earth in a very practical way. It sort of says, okay, yes, you are gung-ho and ready and wide open for a new beginning. And this new beginning is incredibly tangible. These are earth energies. This is something that's coming into your physical experience. It happens, yes, it happens in the blink of an eye, but the process of fully integrating that into your physical experience is slow. It is steady. It's almost like, okay, when you think about the energy and the pace of ideas, since we're in Mercury territory here, Gemini is a quick energy. It is thinking one thing 1 minute and then thinking that something else the next, permission to change your mind, permission to change the way you think, permission to think differently, maybe in the blink of an eye. That's Gemini energy. And it's so fascinating to me that the Five of Swords, this Gemini energy, is somehow, I don't know, it's a weird energy. I'm getting that like there's a quick change in the blink of an eye, a quick change that helps us integrate something very physically, integrate this new energy physically, slowly, at a more earthly, human, physical pace. It's like, again, the pace of dreaming and thinking about what you desire. This is a fast world up here in the head. The world of physical form, the transition from that mental space into physical being is much slower. It's like in order to bring something into physical form, it has to be able to slow down enough for those, like, I'm getting like the atoms and the cells to begin to divide and like the gestation process of coming into being takes time. Let's see what else we can get. The Five of Swords. It's grounded, it's grounding us. Interesting, the Six of Cups. God, this card's been coming out for me so much lately. And it's been speaking recently about coming home to ourselves. It's a card that can talk about past, it can talk about nostalgia, it can talk about almost like childlike energy. But to me, again, lately, it's really been speaking of like this is me meeting myself. Coming home to my innate ways of being. Interesting that we've got this child here. Coming home to the things that make me feel nurtured and held. Coming home to the things that come very naturally, innately to me. to the things that bring me the most joy, that let me feel like a child again. Okay. All right, let's clarify the child. Let's look at the Page of Discs. This new beingness. Yeah, Ace, exactly. The Ace of Pentacles. This new beingness that is coming into being. Here we have it. A new earth experience, the Ace, the very beginning. This is like card 0 of the earth. Just newly coming into form. And again, it takes time for the Ace of Pentacles to develop into what it is that you want it to be. It takes time for it to develop and reveal its full potential. It is just the seed. It's going to take seasons for it to fully grow and develop into the tree, the plant, the being that it could be. Interesting that the Queen of Swords also came out. She's really feeling like this Athena energy of protection. It's speaking to me of like hold. I wonder why. I wonder what that is. Hold. Even the knight in its armor, it's looking at the Six of Cups here almost as like a protector of these children, like protecting the children, protecting your innocence, protecting your joy, protecting your heart, that part of you that feels exuberance and joy and freedom and playfulness, curiosity, safety. Interesting. Because it's like it's from that space that we really truly open to something new. And so it's almost like there are these guardians here to help us feel safe and protected so that we can have this new experience and truly allow it and open our hearts to it and open our beings to receive it. Yeah. Okay. I want to get a card from the liminal space because we are so focused on this transition. The space behind the eyelids as the liminal space in this change. The eyes closing and reopening with a new life, with a new vision. Gemini, speak to us. Gemini energy, help us understand this liminal space as we transition out of spring. Interesting. Wow. Woo. Here we go. This feels like the Fool energy to me. You wished for this, money, 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 okay? Money, beige. So this is sort of like the things we wish for, the things that we are desiring to bring into our existence, to bring into our lives. Money always speaks to me of Venus energy. Venus is the things that we value and that bring value to our lives and our sense of being. And so, okay, interesting. There's something here that you are wishing for. There's something that you want. That's fine. Look what else came out. Death is the healing. And here there it is. That frickin' tunnel. The train entering the tunnel. So, okay, listen, y'all. Yes, eclipse season was a lot. It's not over. We have Saturn square Uranus coming right on the other end of that. And to me, that is because Saturn is on that degree, I think, of the train entering the tunnel, and it's all over this reading. It's like, okay, allow the changes that need to happen in order for you to open to what you are wishing for, to open to the new things that you are ready to welcome into your life. Okay, final bit here. The cards of protection. I'm pulling out these cards too because, well, first of all, the Gemini energy is just absolutely unmistakable. And the last couple nights I've been having these Gemini dreams. Really ever since I've been like sitting with these cards and this Gemini message of in the blink of an eye. But last night especially, I was having dreams of just like all these mirror images. Okay. Cards of protection for us as we allow Gemini to carry us into a new season through this change. Okay. Okay, one more. Maybe. Yeah. Ugh, the kid again. Okay. First of all, we have, it says protection from city planning, and then this one says protection from objectification. But what I'm really getting is this house picking up and moving. It looks like it's on legs. This is the chariot, y'all. This is the chariot. Taking you somewhere else. I mean, for some of y'all like me, this could be literal, you moving, but it's more just like, okay, changing the structure, because we're talking about city planning, changing the structure, changing the way things are built in your life, the infrastructure of your life, of a project, of your mind, however this is showing up for you. And then here we have this child. Protection from objectification. This feels so much, and it's interesting that the child has this like saw. I don't know, this is feeling like this protection energy here, that this being with the sword and the saw, right? This being here is protecting something young, something brand new from being seen, from objectification, because it's almost as if it needs to stay in the dark of the tunnel until it's ready to until the eye is ready to reopen, until it's ready to fully be revealed. Wow. Fascinating. You know, this is such an interesting moment astrologically because time feels so strange in this liminal space, in this like eclipse season, Saturn square Uranus, everything changing as we move into summer. And in this reading, it feels that way, you know, this whole image of in the blink of an eye, and then we have from fool to death to the infant being born. It is a time where time is moving. Everything is moving in slow motion, and yet you look back and it happened in the blink. A lot is changing. You can feel and find grounded protection in spaces where you feel like a kid again, where you feel joy, where you feel the most innately you, where you feel like you can truly come home to yourself. Those are the spaces to protect, to guard with your life, you know, to guard sacredly at this time, because those are the spaces that are going to carry you through to the other side. birthday. That's it. It's the birthday. Wow. Friends, thank you so much for joining me in this reading. It's been an absolute pleasure to open up to the message that Gemini has for us all at this time. I hope it was relevant and useful for you as we move into summer season. Keep an eye on this channel, okay? There are more readings to come. And if you haven't already, we set up a new space. We've laid the foundation, the bone structure of a new space over at unseenhandscollective.com. So check us out, go explore, see what we're up to, and make sure you stay connected with us as we continue to unfold. All right, y'all, take care.